It's Saturday. It's 9 p.m. in Old Blighty. We are live, and it must mean it's time for another 2 hours of intellectual discourse that is known as the War Room. Hope you're all doing well. And while we're waiting for everybody to chug along to the channel, I'm just going to say I'm joined, as always, by our two favourite reprobates, Nate and Jester. And how you doing, chaps?
Not too bad.
That's my line. Stop it.
I'm exhausted.
I bet you are. How's Mrs. Jester?
Mrs. Jester's doing great. She's recuperating. I gave her a nice pill, so she'll be knocked out for a couple hours. We're hoping.
Nice one.
She's doing really good, and it's just she's not able to get up and do anything. So it means I have to do all the dishes, all the cleaning, all the just trying to take care of her and do my stuff and try to find time to squeeze a game in. So
yeah, it is like what we talked about last week. Hello, with upstairs banging on Renee. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So, but thanks everyone for your kind words and your support, and and just checking and making sure everything's okay with her. And I mean, it'll be another week, and then I think everything will be fine. So it'll be good. And it's giving me some time away from work, so that's another good thing.
That's a bonus. Yeah,
that is a good thing.
And have you been doing much videoing? And
I've only done a couple short hour or less videos trying to squeeze things in when she's taking a nap or something, because I don't want to be in the middle of something complex and then have her needing me for something. So I've been just trying to do shorter, smaller games.
Right, good. So, which is a thing in itself.
I squeezed a couple in when I could, but it'll be rough. But thanks everyone. Nate, how are you doing, buddy?
How you doing, bud?
I'm doing all right. It's been a busy week. Unfortunately,
I like that shirt, by the way.
Well, thank you.
I really like that shirt. It reminds me of I have a shirt almost exactly like that, and it's my favorite shirt that I have.
Oh,
so
wow.
What, plain?
Yeah,
plain, very plain. Yeah, I didn't get to play anything this week. I still have the Great European War set up. Got too busy again this week with school, but schools should be wrapping up in the next couple of weeks. But I don't know if you want to do this now or later, but let's do
it. So what I want to do is just say hello. We're getting up to 40 people coming. So what I've been
we're going to show off our new gifts in a minute.
Okay, that's what I was
he's gone bonkers, evidently. Just to say that again, a little bit of videoing still going on, and Friday we had part 3 of Panzer, which was great. Lots of blowing up tanks. So go and watch that if you want. Let me just say,
Sister's favorite game.
Well, it's turning into Tony's as well, because we're going to continue on and plop in the infantry with their Panzerfausts and bazookas and things, and all that sort of nonsense. So yeah, looking forward to it. So Viper Dave, first up. Charles, good evening, sir.
And I still got to get with Viper Dave. I keep swearing I'm going to get with him. One of these days, I'm going to surprise him and get with him again.
Say back, good moaning.
Yeah, good moaning, yes. So, hello, Patrick. Yeah, everybody gets it. Everybody gets it. Carvel Commander.
Hey.
Have you sorted out another date for Combat Commander yet? No? Okay. Mr. Designer of the Year with his game that's gone absolutely bonkers. Everybody's unboxing it, playing it. I haven't got my copy yet.
Neither have I.
I sold my copy already, so
never mind. Christoph, Nordic. I can't go through them too quick because I get told off for going through the chat too quick. So,
so you get told off if you go to slow, and you get told off if you go too fast.
Well, if we go too slow in the chat in the show, yes, and I get told off if I go too fast in the thing, I can't win.
Man.
But it's done
Lock
with
and load, everyone. Lock and load.
or lock and
Lock
load.
and
Yes.
load.
Drinking a nice Chianti this evening. Stuka.
Stuka. I was watching.
I did a video the other day where I was blind ranking 20 games from my collection, and lock and load came up, and I kept saying, "Oh, I don't know how I'm gonna rank this lock and load, lock and load," and everyone in the chat kept saying, "Drink." So it's getting out there everywhere.
Yeah, I know. It's yeah.
That was fun. It's fun.
Hey, there's Tony.
Hey, all right.
Yeah, he says he's best.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tony. Appreciate it. Yes, thanks, Cardboard Commander. Appreciate it. Thanks, Patrick. Appreciate it. David, thank you.
They're great. And our chat's great. One big family. And it's growing all the time, which is fantastic.
Oh, yeah, it's awesome.
Doug, how you doing, sir? And Kevin? Eric plays a game.
I haven't heard for sure if any of the games that I sent out at our celebration, 5-year celebration. I haven't heard from any of those people if they've actually arrived yet. So if you're in the chat and we sent you something, let us know if you've got it so we know.
Well, I know. See, I've sent 2 out, and the Canadian, it was going to go to Canada, and it's like a mortgage payment. So he had a friend in Leeds over here, so he said send it there. I won't be able to pick it up till the summer, but yeah, it cost him a fraction of the price. I know it's got there because I get a notification, and the other one went to Germany, so I'm hoping he's got that.
Hey, nice.
Oh, right.
I haven't played Beware the Ides of March from Hollandspiel, but definitely love
as you're doing this, why don't you talk about the subject today?
I can't do 2 things at once, Jester.
Oh, I'm sorry.
What do you think I am?
Sorry. Thought maybe we could do more than one, but that's okay.
Yeah. Oh, I've got some news. I've been texted by Thomas. I've got some news about that, which we'll do in a minute. But yeah, what we're going to do, yes, it was penetratingly good fun. And you'd know what we were talking about because Nordic always brings the conversation down to the gutter because there's penetration in Panzer. So, yes. What we're doing today
not only penetration, but random penetration.
Yeah, it's good. Does it hit? Does it not?
Now this is getting weird.
I know. Wolfpack has arrived. Look at that.
Man.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Cardboard Commander.
I'm excited for it.
Hi, DJ. Ah, yes, there we are. Ken, that's the chap in Canada. Yeah, made it to Leeds. Unfortunately, you can't play it till the summer, but maybe you can play it with your friend when you get over there. Nothing wrong with that, David. Great. You know it's one of my faves. Do I need to say more? Yes, I was trying to do 2 things at once. Not very good. I
wonder if they would ever do a warfighter that doesn't involve like guns, like sword speared,
Well, it's called fantasy, and it's an absolute pig, evidently. Warfighter fantasy. I don't know because I've not played it.
Because if they did like if they did a warfighter like Roman stuff, then
that might be good. But
right.
Charles, how you doing, sir? Yes, we're going to have a sort of open forum because sometimes we chat away and it's great and people love it, but we sometimes forget to finish off the topic. Sometimes it's a bit of a rush. So I thought maybe we could, if there's anything that needs going over, let us know. Also, it's a sort of open question and answer thing. If you want to ask any of us anything, then that's what it's all about. It's sort of a free and easy night tonight. So
that's we just wanted to kind of wrap up a few things. I know we didn't get a lot of time to talk about Nate's thing and some of our other issues we've had trying to wrap things up at the end of the thing. So we're just trying to wrap everything up and then wanted to see if anyone had any questions out there. So
yeah. And also if you want any general questions, just questions, So that's good, Thomas.
I've got your notification that it was going through clearing customs. Okay, there you go. All right. See, I did ship it. See, I did ship it.
Honest governor. Yes. Look, they're all off. See what I mean? This is what
Yeah.
so we're trying to play
As soon
a
as you
serious
mentioned
game.
it. Yep.
Yeah, we're trying to play a serious game, and we get the jokers in the chat, bringing it down to the gutter. You know. I think we got there. And
hey, that's awesome. Especially since the sequel will be coming out later this year.
Yeah. Humbug.
Ooh, we got the outdoor decorations up.
Humbug. It's not even just humbug. No.
Wait a minute. They don't go for you, they don't go up until December?
12 days before, yeah.
12 days. And then you take them down on December 26th, right?
No, 12 days after. Yeah.
Is this an English thing?
Wow.
Or is this
I think so. Yeah.
This is a rough
Oh,
thing.
is it really? Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. But I will tell you,
that's the tradition. You put them up 12 days before Christmas. I'm not sure if anybody, because you see them go up in October over here, you know, and it's like, get a grip. So
now, is it in line with obviously the 12 days of Christmas? So is
yes,
it one,
I think that's it. Yeah.
is it one thing you put up a day?
No, you can put the decorations up
The whole
12 days
thing.
before. Yeah,
Okay.
that's supposed to be. But anyway. Oh, yes, I couldn't make SG because they got their own one now, because PunchCon is sort of done in association with Second Chance Games at SCG, and it was such a success that they've decided to do their own one in Liverpool, which is where up in that part of the world where they are. But I couldn't make it. So
That's awesome, David, that he won though. That's
he
cool.
won next war Iran. Nice. Oh, they don't give away as good gifts as we give away, though. Come on, let's be honest. Come on, we know that.
Oh, yes, you won. That's right. You won Archie's War. Yeah, they're all going.
I did an unboxing of Wolfpack because it was literally delivered. I got it off my front porch, carried it to my room, got it out of the box, and I started a live stream. So it was like brand spanking new.
I mean, from the videos that I've seen of it already, I already knew it was going to be good because we got to play it with Mike beforehand, but the physical copies look really, really cool. Like just the pre-rounded counters and everything.
Yeah. I think
there are a lot. I should mention there are a lot of pre-rounded counters, but the 1-inch ship counters are not pre-rounded.
Mm-hmm.
So you will have to But it took me 15 minutes to clip them. Not long. Yeah,
I think it's going in the world record for the world's heaviest war game box of components.
It could be. There's a ton of counter sheets in there.
I will
and
actually
the map board is really big. Yeah, it's nice.
I will say one thing, and that one of the things that I know that I have mentioned a lot, and we've talked about, is great artwork and how that can really get people immersed into a theme and also draw people to consider a game they may not initially be interested in, but because of the good artwork, they might actually want to join in. So I will share something, Ruff.
You say that. I was just going to say that's something that non-war games are very good at. Some of the artwork on, say, cards or maps or whatever are absolutely out of this world. So yes,
I'd like to share a really cool thread that I saw on BGG about the box art of Wolfpack, where Guy says here that
his head's big enough as it is. Come on, don't stop it now.
I know, right? I know.
But
no.
This guy mentions that he has the best box art, and he thinks that alone will generate sales. And in fact, this guy down here says that his wife saw it and thought it looked really, really cool. And so I think that this is a great example of how good box art, good artwork can draw people into war games that generally may or may not be interested in the topic in the first place. So I just wanted to highlight that to say great box art for Wolfpack and great art altogether.
So yeah, well done, Mike. I've just got a bit of news because I said in the green room that Thomas has been texting me. Game of Drones is officially out today.
Congratulations.
On Amazon. Congratulations.
Is that game 5?
I think so. Let me check. He also said, by coincidence, he then texted me back, well, oh, just realized that it was today's the same day as his first game, Tally Ho, came out. So that's got to be a good omen.
Cool.
1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, Tally Ho, Mag 23, SOE Lysander, Overflight Game of Drones. He also says, thank you, everyone, thanking us for all the help, with unboxings or playthroughs, because you've done playthroughs. Tony's doing some more playthroughs with Thomas. You're welcome, sir, because if they weren't any good, we wouldn't do them. So there you go. You're welcome, my friend, and keep up the good work. So that's my little bit of news. Well done, Thomas.
So, Jester, why don't you tell us what new things that you've gotten?
Yeah, I got a couple new things this week. Actually, I've got 2 things sitting right there that I haven't even opened yet, so I can't share those with you. But I will show you a couple of the things I did get. Obviously, I got Wolfpack.
Don't know, Demi.
So let me just quickly show everyone the box art in case you are not familiar with it. So really cool, great design. Gives you that eerie, ooh, what am I into kind of feeling. So, and then here's the back of the box. I mean, the map's not going to win, map of the year, but it's very functional, works very good. But I did get another game. I did get another one, and this game about killed me because there are 27 counter sheets in it.
That is crazy. That size of that box.
That's nuts.
27 counter sheets.
Does the box say how heavy it is?
You can tell by his face how heavy it is.
Right.
He's gone red.
No.
I think everybody's doing it, Cardboard. Everybody's doing it. So, apart from me, because I haven't got mine yet.
Yeah, so I got that in. I told these guys in the green room I got it for a pretty decent price because the box lid was destroyed. I don't know if you could see, I had to tape it all up, but putting a little bit of tape on my box lid to save me like $40-50 was well worth the effort, I think. So I don't care what the box lid looks like. Give me a break. The contents were like brand spanking new. So I know Mike has been talking about him and his group playing for years and years and years. Yeah, it's just
a ton in that box.
Yes, and that's a famous line that's been rearranged from a famous film.
Yeah, we're going to need a bigger table, and that's it.
Yeah, as opposed to we're going to need a bigger boat. So,
yeah.
Jaws, isn't it?
So, so great stuff this week again. I got a couple other things. One's from Herman that he had sent me, and then another order came in, but I'm not going to open it yet. But I hear somebody else is trying to fill their closet up with stuff.
Yeah, because the Noble Knight sale was going on, and
it's still going on.
It's still
you can order more than one.
And I got 4 things. I remember just a few weeks ago, I was asking you all in the audience for I was just going to get 1. And then, of course, that turned into 4.
Because, as you know, if you put it in the shopping trolley, you are obliged by law to purchase it.
That's right. Exactly right.
So be careful.
In fact, when I was buying the last one yesterday, I was finishing up work, and I had it on my computer, and I was gonna buy it, and I was hesitating, and one of my coworkers come by and he goes, "I'm just gonna stand here until you finally click that button to actually order it." But I unfortunately, Tony, probably am becoming a collector, but I am determined to play these. So the first one is World at War. This is the campaigns in Europe. This is the third one. I decided to start with the Italian campaign first. The other two are Drive on Leningrad and Case Blue. And what these are is they're redoing all of the maps and the counters from the old World in Europe game from SPI. And these are now they're instead of like the full War in Europe 39 to 45, now these are just campaigns. And they're putting them in different quadrants. And then eventually next year there's going to be an expansion that will round everything else out, add several more counter sheets. So that's kind of like having War in Europe again.
That's a bit of a cheat because it can go in that blooming bookcase, can't it?
Yes.
Yeah, see, that's cheap. I haven't had a lot of success with magazine games, but there we are.
Then I saw another one that it was another World at War, Germany's War Plan Z. This is a hypothetical. What if the Kriegsmarine was developed, called War Plan Z, developing more capital ships and carriers to eventually attack Great Britain, and Hitler had promised the Kriegsmarine that he wasn't going to start any conflict until the late 1940s. Obviously, it didn't happen. And so now this game supposes, what if Hitler waited? And he War Plan Z's there. So I like hypothetical situations. Then
I do too, yes.
Look at Tony's comment about 10 up there, Ruff.
Yeah, people are like, I need to swap book.
We're going to become a collector, not instead of a game player. He's becoming a game collector.
No, that someone else. Noble Knight by telling me how many people have it in their cart. Yes.
Yes, I was going to just put that up. That's a bit cheeky, isn't it? That is very cheeky.
It's like, oh no, if I don't get it now, somebody else is going to take it from me.
Yeah, that's what they're hoping.
Because that's happened to me before. And the third one was Next War Iran.
Ooh, boy, yeah.
So I'm excited about this one. And
that's by Mitchell Land.
Yeah, correct. We tried to get him on the show this week as well, but he came back and said, "Sorry, Ruff, I'm busy. It's getting to that stage and it's holiday time, holiday season, and the missus has booked me out every weekend. We've got people to visit and all that sort of thing." And Tony's confirmed. He said, "Yeah, I was trying to get an ATS game for the weekend, and he can't do it." So it's so hopefully in the new year
time it's going to be hard. Yeah.
Yep.
Hope in the new year.
I love Mitch. He's such a good guy. He's so fun to talk to. He's down to earth. He's just like, he doesn't act like he's some big shot, and he just tells you the way it is, and I love that about him.
Well, I'm looking forward to when he comes on. I'd like to meet him.
Cool.
And sorry, Mike, in a moment of weakness last night, I went and ordered the woods one, the forest one.
Oh, that's the second one. That's the second one. That's what he got. Yeah.
I got it on their open because the pledge manager's open again. So I got it.
Did you get the campaign book?
No, I nearly did. I thought, no, Ruff, stop now, because she is going to see
your life would disappear if you get the campaign book.
Luckily, she's got the headphones in, watching the goggle box. But yeah, one day she's going to see the statements and go, "What on earth?" So yeah, but I've got it. So I've got the lot now. I've got the lot.
Well, I will say the fourth item that I got that hasn't come in yet, hopefully next week, is I got the GTS, the Greatest Day Utah Beach one, the new GTS one out.
The new Monster GTS game? Wow, GTS. Really?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's like $300.
I got it for an amazing price. So
wow, good for you.
Really new. I was very happy.
Very nice.
Sorry, what was that? Oh, because what Gareth said is true. You tend to call it holiday season. We call it Christmas time.
Well, no, it is Christmas.
It's a non-offensive term you call it, isn't it?
You got the Utah Beach one, right? You got Utah Beach.
You told, oh, the huge one, right? Yes.
Yeah, like the Omaha one, but
Yeah.
Utah.
Yeah.
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 The one that I bought from Todd for $150, and then the next week it went on sale for like
Oh,
50.
that one. Omaha is not out yet. It's Gold, Juno, and Sword.
Yeah, that's
The
What about if you try to play them all together?
Yeah, I eventually all of them together. Yes.
How would you do that? Blimey.
That's
So
a
I'm just
monster one, Nate. That's got a lot of counter sheets, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. I'm excited about it. I want to do the whole thing.
Well, congrats. That's a big one. That's a big step. That's a big step.
I just love my monster games. So
I wish I had your discipline, Charles. It's all I can say.
What was the game you were talking to me about last week that you were interested in? That I have. Yeah.
Oh, Atlantic Wall.
No, you weren't talking to me about Atlantic Wall.
Was it Atlantic Wall?
No, it was something else. You were interested in it. You said, "Oh well, let me think about it." And I might email you. Okay.
Oh, what?
While they're thinking about that, if you could do me a big favor, because I need all the help I can get, if you could smash that like button for me, that would be absolutely wonderful, and we'll love you forever, ever. And there's nothing you can do about that. So that would be wonderful if you could do that. Thank you.
Now it's going to bother me for the rest of the show. I can't remember.
I don't remember which one you were talking to. I think it was like
Hold on.
Oh, yes. He got
71
it.
people. Hold on. 71 people are watching this.
That's awesome.
71.
71 people. Nice.
Thank you. Thank you, chat. It was the Russian campaign from G&T. That's what it was.
Oh, right, because I showed you I have the mounted maps.
Yeah.
You're like,
That's right. You're saying we can't get it anymore.
Right, and I can't get it on my table because it's wide instead of
Mm-hmm.
instead of tall. And you're like, oh well, since you got the mounted maps, maybe I'll just get it from you. And I was like, yeah, won't contact me, and you never did. So,
well, you know why? I forgot.
Well, you were busy buying somebody else's stuff. I got it. All right. No, I got you.
Is that why?
We're going to go there.
It's an open forum. That makes sense. That makes
sense. So, if there's anything you want to ask, embarrassing questions you want to ask Jester, please feel free, because he's under contractual obligation to answer all and everything.
There. Now I wrote it down, so I will.
Oh, you got it. No.
Look at this. Oh my gosh!
There's enough in the box. There's enough in the box to keep you busy. Crikey!
Look at that, page after page after page, and some of the artwork in here is, really, really good.
Here we go. First question. Oh no! Hold on. First question.
Wow.
Boxes for me, Mike. There we go. I'm not ashamed to say.
I actually answered it. View count.
Definitely boxers. I don't like my.
Oh,
you got to get the air round.
Wrapped up. Yeah. I don't like it wrapped up.
You don't want them Y fronts. You don't want them Mr. Bean pants. No.
All right, let's move on. No,
he's no fun. No.
Somebody just tested positive for COVID after a week. Oh boy, William. Oh, buddy. Get some Tylenol.
It's that time
tested negative. Oh, yeah. All right. After a week, he tested negative. Okay, good job, William.
That's good. Yeah. But it is that time.
I knew he'd been sick, so he messaged that he was sick the other day on one of my things. Oh, by the way, I played a great game this last week.
It's coming through. We're finding out what the chat is wearing.
Where is it? It's right here. It's got to be right here.
So what I mean, Nordic has to sort of smash it one level down.
Every week what happens is my friends who aren't able to watch the show live ask me, how was the show? And now I'm going to have to tell them, this is what we talked about. Oh, okay. What did you think?
This is a great game. I played it twice this last week.
It's not a complex game either, is it? It's easy to get hold of.
Not a complex game. Yeah. It is. It's one of those games you gotta figure it all out. But once you do, it's not complex at all.
I'm not.
It is a really good game. Really good. It plays really good solo, surprisingly as well. It's kind of Twilight Struggle-esque.
Yeah, because it's a CBG, right?
I'm sorry.
It's a CDG card driven.
Assisted card.
Yes, it's
Oh,
a
it's
CDG.
card
but
assisted.
No, it's a CDG in that you use a card for either the event or the operation points or the scoring, which is the new kind of thing, because there's all the scoring cards are available all the time. If you play Twilight Struggle, there's like a scoring card that comes out and you got to play it.
Yeah.
In this, they're already out, and then you can play it at any time. So if I got like 3 and you only have like 1, then I might score that because I can earn 2 points by scoring that card.
And you didn't
It's really
did
neat.
you think that knowing both decks that each player has that you could still play well solo?
It's one deck,
Okay.
so you're combining them to, you just have one deck, and so
Right.
it's random. And then there's cards that are for the US and cards that are for China. Great game.
Easy
really
solo as well,
good.
isn't it? Easy to solo as well.
It's not easy to solo in that it is easy to solo, but it's one of those, what is the AI doing here? But once you do it a few times, and it's like, boom,
I see
he's
this
going to do this, do this, and boom, boom, boom. So it takes you like maybe, I would say, 1 game to learn.
So it does have a solitaire system to it?
Yes.
Like a bot.
right. I didn't realize.
It's got a bot.
Okay.
It's got an AI bot. Really good game. Unfortunately, you can't get this game anywhere. Noble Knight doesn't have it.
Sold out, is it? Oh,
Sold out. Yeah.
It's
I've been
not
waiting
that old,
at
is it?
Noble Knight for a long time for a copy to come available, and one did, and I was like, yeah, I'll get it.
But it's
And I'm
not
glad
that
I did.
old.
It's a really
It's
good
not-
game.
it's less
No.
than a year old, isn't it?
Something like that. Yeah.
Maybe a year. It's
Yeah.
not that old.
Mhm.
I missed it when it came out because it was like, it's just a lot of people were calling it Twilight Struggle Light. It kind of is, but it kind of isn't, if you know what I mean.
Well, maybe GMT will republish it again, reprint it.
It's sitting there with like, I don't know, 50 or 100 people. It's like nowhere, no one's like interested in it. I don't know.
Well, it's because there's a ton on their P500. Like I just saw yesterday that the newsletter came out. So
Yes.
2 more were added.
One is
47 people have pre-ordered it or P500 it.
And there's the new game. I think you highlighted it on Tack Up, Jester. The new game from Sam London, who we had on the show.
Oh yeah, another like big surprise there.
Yeah, completely like a sort of fantasy game.
Fantasy space exploration.
Yeah,
I guess they debuted it at San Diego HisCon a couple months ago, and they played it and tried it, and everyone like goo goo gaga over it. So. And Sam London is the guy that did that tactical firefight. We had him on the show. Great guy. And we played the game. Me and Tony played the game as well. And with Sam overseeing us, and he was pulling his hair out because he had 2 numpties playing it. And he couldn't understand how bad somebody's tactics could be. But he learned. Yeah. But it was a great game. We're looking forward to that coming out as well.
The other game they announced was the other game they announced was Bruce Harper from A World at War, the big monster World War II game, now doing World War I. I think it's called A World in Crisis.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's navalish as well. Got some naval stuff in it as well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you have to have it for World War I.
Of course, you've got to have the dreadnoughts.
That's right. Oh, Tony's thinking about Death of the Trenches. You should.
I got as long as you're not too long. So he's thinking of getting that right.
Definitely.
Of course he is. Look, of course he is.
Oh, look at him going. Jeemin' Christmas. Back it up. Back it up. Good Lord. Jeez.
Tony, whenever you want to play it, I will play it with you.
Because again, that's not very solo friendly because the World at War isn't, is it? That monster game that is based on.
You can play it solo. I mean, I have a friend that plays it solo. And so I'm sure the World War I version, Death in the Trenches, is very easy to solo as well.
I think we've all ordered it. Yeah. I mean, but yeah, okay. It's again, World War I. I've still got to get, like Napoleonics, I've still got to get into it.
Well, you don't have enough
Do you
shelf.
realize?
No,
I
can't.
just
I can't have
realized.
any more. The
Nate's
table's
been
like
on
this.
our show for like 10 months now already.
What's
Who,
that?
me?
Yeah. Right?
Since February.
March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October. And starting of December will be, I guess 9 months. Okay. All right. Wow. Time's flying by. I'm just like, wow, man.
It is getting daft the way it is whizzing
Time
past.
to start finding a replacement, I guess, already.
A couple of things. We're talking last week about stuff that you can travel with. There's one I forgot to mention.
Oh, good one.
Very small footprint, little weenie map in it.
Mm-hmm.
No card. Another good game.
Just don't take it to Argentina with you. Yeah,
that's a load of old nonsense. It's not actually banned in Argentina, but it was a good selling point.
Of course.
And while there's a lull, I just got them out to remind myself. Yes, videoing at the moment is a little bit awkward. I'm doing what I can when I can, but what I am doing is everybody likes to take the mickey out. I'm doing a lot of reading of rules in bed before I have a little off to the land of Nod. One of which is Panzer, of course, because the next one we're going to be using the infantry. So there's a little bit more rule.
Is that in expansion 1, expansion 2?
We're doing expansion 1 again. Just
expansion 1, okay.
Because it replays the scenario we've just done with the infantry. I'm also,
so if just hypothetically, if somebody had Panzer in all 4 expansions and they were selling it, would that be a good investment for somebody to get into?
It might be an expensive investment. They've got to be really wanting it. I would have thought it'd be, unless the person's, if you're asking for a friend, unless that friend is selling them for a sort of just to clear the space price.
No, my friend is not selling it to save space. He's
you've got to get
trying to earn some money back for his investment.
Yeah, then you've got to get somebody that is into it. I knew as soon as I got the first one.
My friend still has a little bit of space left on the floor.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you want to take the chance and sell them individually, but it's or be like
most of them are out of stock again already. What the hell?
Well, you might get it.
I mean, there's a lot of things out of stock.
In fact, right there they are. If you look at them, right there they are.
I'll give it a look.
Oh yeah,
maybe I'll give it a look. What I've been reading though is I've got a blast from the past going on. It may well go over for next year's games, but I'm looking at reading that.
Okay.
Ambush. I'm reading that. Patton's Best.
That's a good one. Yeah.
And I'm going to hopefully try and revisit Tokyo Express with the standard rules, not the basic rules. A proper game, a proper playthrough.
Okay.
Ruff, I'm interested. How on earth are you able to read and comprehend multiple games at a time without getting them all messed up?
I think the last part of that question is your answer.
Okay.
But no, what I'm doing is I'm not reading them to learn. I'm reading them to get familiar with them and in some cases refresh. So yes.
Do you still have Sky set up?
Huh?
Do you still have Skies
above Britain set up? Bits and pieces when I can. It's just really awkward to say, nobody goes anywhere. And it's like I can't do any videoing. Oh,
so I will tell you something that because I'm the type of person I'm a very clean person. I like things organized well. If I leave a game set up for too long and dust starts gathering on my game,
no.
I get very, very twitchy about it.
No, because it's not too long to put out, because it's just too bulge, and so I put it away because I'm not videoing, and I can do an unboxing or something if I get a chance to get that out of the way. But then think, I'm going to have a couple of hours. So I'll get it out because I take photos of how it's set up and where I've left it and all that sort of thing.
Right.
And, the cards are the cards. They're in the stand. So, I can just, quarter of an hour, set it up and do a bit of videoing. But that's how it is, you see. I'm afraid at the moment. It gets me down as well. But no, and I'm not going to tell you what happened to you two in the hospital. So shut up. You have to wait until it gets released. So, yes.
I should mention... We've been talking about the artwork and stuff, and it's a darn shame, but we don't do this more often, is we should actually recognize the people And so the art director for this was Justin Martinez. So, Justin did a great job. Yeah. And so we wanted to call him out and let everyone know that. So next time we hear about Justin, we can remember, oh, he was with Wolfpack. So good job on that.
But that's why when I do an unboxing, I always go through the credits, the developers, the art.
Yeah. And I always forget, and I'm dumb. Yeah. I always forget to do that. But we need to make sure we, not only the publisher, he's
off again. Look.
Oh my God. Here we go. He's calling. He just likes to call out people that he thinks he knows.
Yeah. You might
Volume 4. Maybe Volume 4 is the only one that's out of stock.
Yeah, and that's the only one I had.
I'll wait till they all go out of stock then. Yeah.
And annoyingly, it's the one I had to buy that's a different box height to the others because it's the first.
Oh.
And it's not in those sort of nuclear proof boxes that GMT use. It's in a sort of slightly flimsier one. But that's not in stock, I think.
I mean, Nordic, you already know the answer to that question from knowing me on this show. Yes.
Knowing you, aha.
Thunderbolt. Yeah, you talked about that. Didn't you talk about that last week? Yeah, I
did. Yep.
Yeah. What was that? Who's
Nordic? Nordic asked me if I'm on board for the P500 for Thunderbolt, and that was no sooner than it was announced. I was one of them.
And as soon as I found out what it was about and getting comments from yourself, bang, it's ordered as well.
I'll tell you what, Nate, you've been a bad influence even on me, okay? Because I have a few games in my collection and stuff, but I've been more and more interested in ancient Rome and all the ancient civilizations. I've been watching videos this week on just like some of the old history and what had happened and all the books that you've been reviewing. I've been now got them all linked on my channel, and I'm like, I don't need books. I have a whole stack of them sitting on the floor right there. It's this whole stack of books. I don't need more books, but you're a bad influence.
Yeah, I think we've done that already. We've done that already. We picked our
but we can always do more. There's always
where were you, Thomas? Is what I can say. Bit of a giveaway there. And yes, but also what's his name? Steve Coogan's character.
Put up Mike's comment there. He was the artist. And
I didn't list who the artist was, just the art director. So
he's the guy that points and says, "Do that again."
They should put the artist on there.
They should,
Game designer was Mike Berticelli. Game developer Joel Toppin. Joel does a great job.
Yeah,
and we've heard nothing but the best from everyone that's worked with them. So
and he has a YouTube channel and a good one,
and also does a lot of Vassal modules as well.
Yep, and he actually did the Flashpoint, and I watched his video to kind of like, oh, okay, now I see what's going on, and kind of get me in the mood to try this game out.
There you are, because that's another fan of the antiquities. Or that
I don't know. I couldn't even ask you the questions, right? I know very little. I played the games, like I played Rome Total War and all those in all the different countries, and I couldn't tell you, like, I've heard of Rome and Carthage. That was about the only ones that I couldn't even name. And Greece. And Macedonia.
Patchwork Pictures. Yes, it's an excellent read. Ghost on the Throne by James Rom. Excellent book.
I bet he's a bit. If it's like, ask him any subject. You go, this book, or ask him, say, have you got that book? You mean this one, first or second printing? What do you want?
That's why, as a historian, like, people ask me about like my books and why do I have so many books, and I go, well, as a historian, these are the tools of my trade.
Yeah,
like, these are important.
They are resources for you to educate and enrich other people's lives.
It's like the thing is, it's like I love history and I love all that stuff. It's just I really couldn't care, to spend the time to investigate it. Like, if Nate would come in and talk about Civil War, because I'm the same way with Civil War. I don't know anything about it. like you could tell me the battle names, I'd be like, okay, I have no idea because I didn't follow it. But Nate's mentioned it over and over again, and the comments in the chat have mentioned it over and over again, and like book titles and authors, and now like some of the people and stuff.
Yeah, it's learning new. See, World War II, I'm not too bad, because that's been filtered since I was a kid. Yeah, and with my father and the books I've inherited and all that sort of thing and bought before I got into the war game stuff. But learning a new subject, I mean, antiquities is a huge subject, and as Nordic said, maybe start here. It's the same for me for the Civil War. I'm trying my best, but it's all like blah 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 blah, because again, I'm not familiar with your your lovely country and where things are in relationship to the battles.
Right.
And it is important that it was only certain parts of the America that had major battle sort of campaigns. Not so bad with the Revolutionary War, because that was sort of down the slip of the east side of America. Yeah, so you can sort of I'm trying. It's obviously something's tickled him in the chat, and I've got to check now.
Do you have a book on transcendental perspective?
Ruckus.
Oh yeah, it's right.
Of course he's got it.
I was kidding.
But
so
that's what I'm saying, and the same with the Napoleonic battles. It's such a huge thing, and as you see in some of the, like when I do the history thing, something you think was completely unrelated, but it's not. It was part of the Napoleonic Wars. That's the other thing. You've got the Peninsular Wars. You've got the this. You've got the Russians. You've got it's trying to learn something new. It does help playing the games. I must admit, you do learn some stuff there.
Well, one of the reasons why I always was drawn to history as opposed to like fictional worlds, like I like Lord of the Rings and a bunch of other Star Wars, things like that. But history always really stuck to me because I really like the stories that are involved across all of time, of some of the most fascinating stories that I had ever heard. And the coolest thing for me was in a fictional world, there's cool stories, but with history, I could go visit the places and see the places where those stories took place. So there was a connection between what I read and then actually visiting it. And so like an example, when I got to go to Rome 10, 15 years ago, I mean, standing in the Roman Colosseum, having read all about the Roman Colosseum or the Roman Forum and seeing this is where Julius Caesar was and where Augustus was and everything. For me, I'm an extrovert, and everyone on that trip, I was silent during the whole time because I was just overawed by I get to see in real life what I've been reading about forever. And so that's one of the things why history has always stuck with me and why I just love it so much. And one of the big things why I got drawn to war games, because it was actually games about history.
Yeah. I mean, I understand. I think I understand how the Civil War started. It wasn't just slavery. It was a main big part of it, but it was also the difference between the industrial North and the sort of rural South and other things going on. So I sort of understand how it started, the kickback from the early days. But it's just, I think it's because I'm unfamiliar with places, in
the geography.
Yeah, it's probably very similar to what happened in the Civil War in Britain. They all start the same way. You get some people that want to do one thing, you get other people that don't want to do that, and they live in the same area, and they call that a civil war.
Yeah, but there was
you have Britain and France going at it. It's not a civil war, but it's the same thing. Some people want to do something, another group of people want to do something else.
Well, basically, it was religion so for the English Civil War. But there's lots of grumblings going on in Scotland, and then it's sort of, but that's what I love about. I love the intricacy, the political backstabbings and things going on. But I'm okay, with the battles. Yeah, I know where Naseby is, York, and I know where Oxford is, and all that sort of thing. So it's not a problem. It's
once you learn.
Anyway, hold on.
Once you learn go ahead.
Hey guys, I'm gonna step out just for a second, check and make sure everything's okay. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Okie dokie.
I don't know how to do this.
Just stop your cam and mute your mic. That's it. Look at that. He's gone.
Excellent. He finally
That's
figured
nice.
it out.
Nice and quiet now. So what will be for us too, I think.
Ruff, you answer the question first.
Well, I'm trying to think. Tell you what maps blew me away the first time I got it. The series is Battles of the American Revolution, funnily enough. And it was those maps, those mounted maps, blew me away. You know, I'm still quite young in the wargaming thing. And I got those out on the table. And I just went, wow. The other ones, I mean, the other series, we talk about series of games, Great Battles of History, tend to be very sort of bland because a lot of the stuff in the early days was carried out in spaces where there weren't any obstacles. I'm trying to think. Great Battles of the American Civil War, again, it's the same artist. But my favorite one, I haven't played the games yet, is the Herman Luttman inspired Chip Paul ones of American Civil War, the Blind Swords, Kernstown. That's oh god, I've forgotten his name. The artist, the map artist,
Rick Barber.
Rick Barber. Thank you. Just having a brain burp there, and the counters are fantastic as well. So, yeah, as a sort of wow thing, it was the Battles of the American Revolution, putting those mounted boards out and going, wow, they look great, and then getting Kernstown Kernstown, and looking at the Rick Barber map. Yes, I can see why people find them confusing, but you get your eye into them, and the counters were gorgeous as well. So I think those are my favorite two. Yes. What about you, Nate?
I would say my favorite game series that has the best looking maps and counters has to be, and I'm glad that Patrick from Patrick's Tactics and Tutorials,
he's going to say campaigns, isn't he?
Is the Great Campaigns of the American Civil War. That is the best maps I have seen in any. If we're talking game series, then it's got to be GCACW.
I would agree with you, but I've only seen them on video. I don't own one, so I can't. But I can understand exactly
in person. They're a lot. I think they're a lot better in person than they are on a screen. I will say, to Nordic's point, I do think that the Library of the Napoleonic Battles do have good maps as well, and they do feel like that they're period. They fit in the period. But GCACW all the way for me, best maps. Jester, what about you?
It is obviously very subjective, but I have always been kind of impartial to Conflict of Heroes. So, which is kind of an underdog. Nobody ever talks about it. Nobody ever looks at it, but let me pull it up on my screen and we'll take a look at the art, shall we?
Oh, it's if he knew what the questions were going to be. How weird. But yes, I agree there, Nordic. Agree there. Yeah, thank you.
Put on my tin hat and conspiracy that all the questions were given to Jester beforehand.
Look at that. Look at that. Let me share my screen with you guys. Share screen. There we go. Let's go with this. There we go. Look at that. Huh?
Oh, having said that, that's just reminded me, lock and load tactical.
Counters. Look at good looking counters.
Lock and load.
Dalek. I want that game now. I want it now.
These are good looking counters. Pre-rounded.
That does count, Nordic.
See if I can find a better picture of the maps. Here we go. Look at that. You guys, nobody's impressed with it, I guess. I don't know. I've always liked them. And they're mounted map boards, too.
Okay.
They are cool.
Yeah.
So I would agree with, just to Extra Squeaky's point, I would agree that Knock Paris, the counters in the map are fantastic, but the question was more of game series.
Yeah.
So, and the second game in that series isn't out yet.
No, but that's why I said lock and load tactical. I forgot the 4X maps on there are stunning. Another one, but yes.
anyone else out there think that Conflict of Heroes have got nice stuff? Is it just me? I don't know. I always been kind of thought they were really nice, but obviously I'm kind of on my own, I guess. It's all right.
Well, it's again, is it an old game? I have heard of it, but
it is. Let's see. I will tell you. Came out originally in 2008.
yes, Patrick, you are. So yes, if I wouldn't have heard of it because I wasn't doing stuff then in the wargaming world.
I think it's for me. I have a hard time with tactical, like real, like that deep of resolution of getting about the art and everything. I don't know.
A
Maybe
tree
I
is a
haven't seen
tree,
enough.
not a forest. You know, a tree is a tree. A house is a house. You know,
See, that's the thing. They got like individual trees just to kind of break it up, and on the map. Let me show you again.
I mean, there's some people here
it's
that
not
agree with you.
Veruca salt. It's Veruca. It's Fuka.
You fell for it.
I did.
And like I said, they're mounted and everything, and they kind of fold together.
They look nice. I just don't.
It's very nice. I don't know. I thought they were nice.
So, Ruff, since we are close to our hour, maybe we could go through our segments and give people in the chat time to think of questions that they want to ask once we finish.
Yeah, it just shows you that we have no mystery to our lovely chat. I'm just going to try and get.
There, I shared a screen again, just so we can look at another map. But you see how they have like just individual trees, just kind of randomly.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice.
Very
nice.
They do remind me of lock and load maps a little bit.
You can see like, kind of darker patches of ground. The roads actually sometimes have like a ditch on them and stuff.
Oh, fighting talk.
Oh, old. Yeah, I mean,
Hi, Hissy.
Don't get me wrong, other ones are good. I just thought that it's an underdog. If you like the underdog like me, you might like Conflict of Heroes. All right, who's going first in our little segment things?
Well, it's a rough show.
Yeah, just one. Yeah, I get you, Patrick. I just love them. They look very contemporary to me for the period, and your eye does get used to them.
I would agree with his assessment, though.
Yeah, I get why people say that. I get it completely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. Let me go first. Get it out of the way, eh? And then we can have some more intellectual stuff. 23rd, I beg your pardon, 23rd of November. We're starting with no sort of ancient British history there. And somebody I did laugh. I think it was an American comedian who was talking about the history of the USA. And he said, yeah, but I just remember what somebody told me. People live to, say, 100 years old. That's 3 people you've been around. If you look at it like that. Which I thought was very funny. And that was from American.
2.5. Almost 2.5.
Well, 2.5. Yeah.
2.5.
I could have worked out.
I mean, for as long as we've been around, I get it. Okay.
Yeah. That was just a silly way. Whereas we've got Europe and we've got 2,000 odd.
Yeah,
anyway,
there's a video that I watched the other day that said something like the last person that saw President or who saw what's his face get assassinated, Abraham Lincoln get assassinated, also saw the other president, what's
Kennedy,
the guy back in the 60s, what was his name?
Kennedy.
JFK. Yeah. So
that's crazy, isn't it? It's crazy.
Yeah. There was one person that saw both the assassinations.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, you would think they were like,
well,
not
don't
even
forget
possible.
there was 2 more assassinations in between.
Maybe it wasn't JFK then. I'm just
There was Lincoln, Garfield, McKinley, and JFK.
But nobody's
Maybe
heard of those other 2, 3.
Yeah.
I have.
All right, Ruff. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Ruff. Go ahead.
No, it's interesting. No, it is. I think it was quite funny. 3 people. 1808, French and Poles defeat the Spanish at the Battle of Tuvela. The Battle of Tuvela saw an imperial French army led by Marshal Jeanlin attack a Spanish army under General Castañas, and the battle resulted in a complete victory of the imperial forces over their adversaries. The combat occurred near Tuvela in Navarre in Spain during the Peninsular War, part of a wider conflict known as the Napoleonic War. So there we are. It's big. Then we move forward to your part of the country. Guys, 1863, American Civil War. The Battle of Chattanooga begins. Union forces led by General Ulysses S. Grant reinforced troops at Chattanooga, Tennessee, and counterattack Confederate troops. And I don't know if you, this is a song that, most Brits know. It's an old song, 1915, Pack Up Your Troubles in Your Old Kit Bag, which is a famous First World War song, was published by Felix Powell and George Asaph, who were really 2 brothers from Wales. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, guys from across the pond, it's the one that they used to, when you see war films, First World War films, it's what they're singing as they get on the trains and all that off to war. Very famous song over here anyway. 1921, Warren G. Harding. Who? Yes, the 29th president of the United States. This is nothing to do with military stuff, but I just thought it was very funny. Warren G. Harding, 29th President of the United States, signs the Willis-Campbell Act into law, prohibiting doctors from prescribing beer or liquor for medical purposes. So it was, go back and have a brandy or 2, that will cure your cancer. So I just thought that was weird. That it actually became law in 1921 that doctors weren't allowed to prescribe alcohol as a medical cure. Then whizzing forward to 39, World War II, HMS Rawalpindi is sunk by the German battleships Scharnhorst and Gneisenau. HMS Rawalpindi was a British armed merchant cruiser, a converted cruiser liner employed as a convoy escort, as a patrol vessel, or to enforce a blockade. That was sunk in a surface action against the German battleships during the first month of the Second World War. Captain was called Edward Kennedy. So that was very early on in the war, the Atlantic War happened today. And in 1940, in World War II, Romania becomes a signatory of the Tripartite Pact, officially joining the Axis powers. This Tripartite Pact, also known as the Berlin Pact, was an agreement originally between Germany, Italy, and Japan. Signed today, was actually signed yesterday. Signed on the 27th, signed on the 27th of September, 1940, by those guys. And it was a defensive military alliance that was eventually joined. So it wasn't a tripartite for very long, joined by Hungary, Romania, Slovakia, Bulgaria, Yugoslavia. And Yugoslavia's accession provoked a coup d'etat in Belgrade 2 days later. Germany, Italy, and Hungary responded by invading Yugoslavia. The resulting Italo-German client state, known as the independent state of Croatia, joined the pact on June 15th, 1941. So, yes, even though Romania joined, loads of them joined. It was originally Italy, Japan, and Germany, of course. 1943, World War II, Tarawa and making atolls fall to American forces. And this is the last one. Again, not much going on really on this day. 1947, the first flight of the Convair XC-99. What does that look like, you ask? Well, funny you ask that. Let me just see.
What does that look like, Ruff? Could you show us a picture?
Funny you should say that.
I'm not interested in seeing it. I'm just kidding.
I know you don't like your planes, but there we are. Where are we? Can't find the blooming thing.
Get out your microscopes.
Oh, get out of it.
That's right. Lean into the screen.
Look at that. It's a weird looking thing, isn't it?
That's ugly.
It is ugly. It is. I give you that. I give you that. But what was it? Well,
even
it was
historically.
yes. Well, it's today. It was at its first flight, Thomas. I've got to put it up. There's loads of crashes, but I don't want to put those up. There's always loads of crashes. But yes, this is the first flight of that Convair XC-99. Hideous looking thing. It was a prototype heavy cargo aircraft built by Convair, of course, for the United States Air Force. It was the largest piston engine land-based transport aircraft ever built, which is why I mentioned it. It was actually introduced in 1949 and retired, so it couldn't have been that bad, in 1957. Yes, and it was inspired, you're quite right, it's Thomas, by the Peacemaker. Yes. There we are. And that, yeah.
The largest piston engine military aircraft?
No, just the largest piston engine.
Oh, I thought it was the what's it called? The Brabazon. It was a British passenger liner, but maybe I guess that was bigger. Huh.
Look at the size of it. Look, it's got
It looks like a big one.
It's got its blooming propeller.
It's a cargo plane, so looks don't matter when you're just trying to get stuff from point A to point B. It's just about how much shit can we throw into it.
Yeah, exactly. And can we get it off the ground? You know,
I can see a general asking that question.
Yeah, I mean, it's yeah, you do, don't you? It's crazy.
Coy, that was designed when they came back from a lake.
So there we are. It's not a pretty thing, is it? Not a pretty thing, but very functional, I would thought, because they kept it till 57. They kept it for sort of 8 years. But there we are.
Okay, who's next?
Whoever.
Good,
Go on, Nate, you do yours, because we'll do Jester's, because he probably hasn't got it ready yet. So give him time to get it ready.
I'm ready, Rob.
Wow, man. Okay, well, my book for today for Nate's notes is a World War II book, and it is called Kursk, The Greatest Battle, Eastern Front, 1943, by Lloyd Clark. This is it's a little thick.
That's fine. It's World War II. See, that's fine.
World War II. This is a great book. Great book. Really enjoy it a lot. Kursk is one of my favorite battles to look at in World War II. One, because I like tanks and is the greatest tank battle in human history.
Ever since, isn't it? Ever since.
Yeah, ever since. That's right. And but Kursk also is one of those really interesting kind of what ifs in World War II that I like to kind of ponder and think about. But great book. And I think I think Jester might be showing off finding it. Did you find it yet?
I have it. Yes. I'm just waiting on him to share it.
Is that it there? There we go.
There we go. Yep. Same. It's
pretty reasonably priced. You can get the hardcover for $5.39. That seems really good.
Is it an older book? No?
This is from.
Not that it makes a difference. It makes a difference on the price sometimes, though. That's the good thing.
2011.
Yes, so it's an older book. That's why it's reasonably priced to be picking up. So you should have one in your library.
Yep. But I also want to show.
It's also got the Anzio one as well. Look down the bottom there.
Correct. Yes, the author's done several books. He was let me see if I can pull it up in here in the book real quick. If I can find it. There we go. Lloyd Clark lectures in war studies at the Royal Military Academy at Sandhurst.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he's a Brit. Yeah.
So good book. But I also want to show I have a twofer, a book and I will share this, a documentary that people are interested, if they're interested in the Battle of Kursk. It's probably the best one that I have seen. It is the first one. It's from an old series called Battlefield from the 90s. the Battle of Kursk. It's an hour and 36 minutes long, and they go through everything: the weapons, the tactics, the strategy for the offensive, the strategy for the defensive. It is an amazing documentary. It's part of the whole series of amazing documentaries from the History Channel back in the day. And
the History Channel, right?
Yes,
I'm thinking it might have been a British documentary series.
It does have a British narrator, Tim Peugeot Smith.
Tim Pigott Smith, an actor. He's an actor.
Excuse me.
It looks French. It looks like Peugeot, but it's Tim Pigott Smith.
That's how I thought it was. My apologies then.
Tim Pigott Smith, famous actor.
He's got a great voice. Great voice.
Yes.
And it's an amazing documentary. It's like a book with all the but yeah, so mine is this book, Kursk, The Greatest Battle, Lloyd Clark, and then the Kursk documentary there.
Yeah, that documentary is awesome. I had actually purchased from Best Buy back in the day. Yes, Best Buy had a store you could walk into and actually buy stuff back in the day. Yeah.
Because that is your
Battlefield series was great. I love that series.
But yeah, East Front is one of your favorites, though, Jester, isn't it?
Yes, it's a good one. All right. So for my group this week, we have the greatest board game title coming up in this episode, and some pretty decent games for a change. So let me share my screen here. And so we are doing number 140 down to 131. So we're in the 130 group. All right, number 140. I'm going to go pretty quick today, so we got a lot of time to talk about our subject. Okay,
I want this game. It's still
looks like a good one for sure.
It's the sister game to Operation Dauntless.
Oh, is it? I didn't know that.
Yeah, without so much crunch added to it. I think this one came out first.
It's a good-looking game too.
Yeah,
it's got a really nice looking. We just Nate asked maps and counters.
Mm-hmm.
That's a pretty nice looking map there. All right, so that's number 140. 139. Great War Commander. Oh, I gotta play this game. If Patrick would find some time, I would hook up and play with him. It's Combat Commander, but in World War I with tanks. Come on, let's get going. Somebody needs to play this. Now, this is a surprise. Number 138. You're never going to guess what it is. The Gist of Robin Hood just came out like, what, 2 months ago? 3 months ago, maybe?
Mm-hmm. Something like that.
Already up in the 138 group.
It's on its second reprint, I understand.
It is.
Yeah.
I like the box art.
It's another one I need to find time to get to the table. So one of these days, maybe I will. Number 137 is Gaslands Post-Apocalyptic Vehicular Combat.
Vehicular, I think that's pronounced, isn't it?
Oh, okay, probably. Yeah, I'm terrible with names. Yeah,
not probably.
Came out in 2017. I must have missed this one. It came out in 2017. And look at the advertisement, boys. Look at the advertisement.
I prefer that one over this one.
Wolfpack. Look at that. Look at that. Blue.
Yeah, I know. He's walking around in a daze, old Mike is.
I know. He's walking around in clouds.
Yeah.
All right. Number 136. Weimar, The Fight for Democracy.
It's Weimar.
Okay.
Probably.
Weimar. Now, also, I should mention that GMT has a game on this battle for the German parliament or whatever they call it over there. It's called something about the Weimar.
The Reichstag.
Yeah. It's
Empires in Arms is 135.
It's an old game, not one. Cracking.
2 to 7 and is place best 7. So you and 6 of your best friends, if you have that many.
That game has there's like a whole aura around that game.
Mm-hmm.
Like a legendary game.
Complexity 4.4 out of 5, boys.
Yep.
I think that spawned a lot of other sort of Napoleonic
It
games,
did.
didn't it?
It did.
134, Caesar Rome versus Gaul. Looking
know,
for a
ordered this
reprint from
game.
this one as well. So
By the time that I came around to find this game, it was already out of print.
It's on P500, so I've ordered it. The reason being is we get one of those solo cards. I've got one of the solo cards with it, so you can play it solo.
that was 134. 133, Great Battles of Alexander Deluxe Edition. Tactical.
Which that
Medieval,
not medieval, ancient combat.
Mm-hmm.
So Richard Berg, Mark Herman, yeah. And the greatest board game title ever?
War
Room.
Crazy, isn't it?
The successor to Axis and Allies.
Oh, is that what that is?
That's
okay.
what this is.
It's a complex game, though, isn't it?
It is. It is includes like oil and resources, as well as tanks and airplanes, just like Axis and Allies. But it's got more.
Yeah.
It's even got one of those. If you order it, you can get the sticks like on actual World War II, like in the
Like when the planes are coming over, yeah.
Yeah, and you push them around.
Yeah.
That's what you can do in there.
I mean, I think they're just trying to copy us to get some extra sales. That's all. Number 131, Caesar. Seize Rome in 20 minutes.
I bet that's deep.
Probably a pretty easy game if you can do it in 20 minutes.
But it must be popular if it's up this high.
131, yeah, that's not bad. All right, so that's my 10 this week. Some good ones in there. I'm surprised again. We're getting up almost in the top 100 war games of all time, and not seeing like hit after hit after hit after hit. There's been few misses in there, I guess. Weimar, Gaslands, War Room, I would miss on that one. And Great Battles of Alexander, that's debatable whether you would, but I mean, it's really popular. So
yes, I have it.
I think I have that as well. I think I do. All right, so back to the subject time, boys.
Yeah. So, well, I'm sorry, I don't want to try. This is rough.
No, go for it. Go for it. No, I'm trying to read the chat. It's great because I can read the chat because I'm the only guy that can put the chat up. So
Okay. All right. Well, so now it's because today we're having sort of an open forum for people that have come to watch the show and enjoying the chat. And so we wanted to give people an opportunity because we have a lot of topics that we discuss. Is if anyone's in the chat that has a question for all three of us that you've been wanting to ask but haven't been able to, or any topics that you think that we should cover, please go ahead and put them in the chat now. We are more than happy to discuss them as they come up.
And I think that's why we got getting on for 80 people watching. That they're trying to get all the dirt and the scandal out.
Trying to get the dirt and the scandals going.
Sitting there waiting for. You're going to be waiting. Oh, it's dropped down now. I said that. Anyway, that dropped down to 74.
Younger people in wargaming. All right. Let's hope so. I mean, obviously the only way for any hobby to grow is get more people in and get the younger group interested. I know Tony had talked about it when he was on the show that there's like different high schools and middle schools in his area. The people are donating games, and he was donating war games to the group of kids, and he was playing with his kids. Some of the kids. Do you ever play with any of your kids?
Once.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, you played the Men of Iron, right?
Men of Iron, yeah. And he trounced me, and he said, no, I also played with him the Hunters. And he seemed to enjoy it, but he got sunk very quickly. And of course, he's into his music. He's doing a college qualification in music production or music performance, and he's got gigs to practice for and all that sort of thing. So he's me at that age. That's what I was doing, But yeah, I'd love to.
I think it is happening. I'm seeing more and more people pop up, like for instance, like on Facebook, on the different groups, on the wargaming groups. I'm seeing younger people get in there. So I think the hobby is it's certainly growing, which is really fun to see.
And it must be younger people, because all the old farts, they're slowly leaving us, so it must be new influx, otherwise it would die. And they've been saying that for decades, haven't they?
Yeah.
So there's always influx. I'm not sure if there's an entry age that you suddenly get into your late 30s, 40s, and you go, I know, I'm going to do some wargaming. So I'm not sure if that's what happens,
Well, so, I know over the last few years, I mean, board gaming in general has exploded in popularity over the last few years. And wargaming, I think, is finally looking like, I know we talked about a lot, but like Wolfpack, like the good artwork is bringing people into this side of the hobby. Just the things that looking at a box cover, thinking about a box cover can actually bring someone in that may not be interested in wargaming in general.
Just think if you're in a game shop, a game store, and you pick that box up and you go, wow. Even if you're not into war games and you remember Das Boot and you remember all the old black and white films and you think, yes, give that a go. The Sunday afternoon war films that I dare say are still played, all across the world. Yeah, I'm just I don't think it's a problem. Otherwise, it would die a death. I know for instance in my music life, a lot of our stuff was done through sort of folk organizations, folk clubs, folk concerts, folk what do you call it, big gatherings, and that is dying off because the youngsters aren't coming into that because it's looked upon as yeehaw and a bit old fogey and all that sort of thing. So that is slowly dying out, which is a shame. But with gaming, I think we're getting some spillage from the explosion of board games in general, which is good.
Plus, also, wargaming is now, like, I'm seeing a lot of games on different topics that I don't think would have been received as well, say, 25 years ago. Like, there was always, a Bulge game, a Normandy game, things like that. But now we're seeing more topics. Like an example would be like solitaire war games on, I'm thinking of like the Ben Madison one, The Mission.
But they've exploded anyway, the solitaire games.
Sure,
look at Thomas's games. Look at, Cruel Necessity. Look at, back in the 80s, there was Ambush, Tokyo Express, Patterns.
Right.
And that there wasn't many, but there's an explosion. Not sure that's a great way to get somebody into it, because I think that person needs to be led by the hand into the wargaming, maybe sat down and showed a game and played it. But yeah, solitaire games are just...
Well, someone asked about like
crazy.
Intro war games to get people.
All right. I'm going to try and work my way down.
Okay.
There's a lot of stuff.
But
sorry. Hissy asks.
I've not played a miniature one yet.
See, I've not played a war.
I don't really play miniatures either. No. I have played them. I'm just trying to remember. I just played one when I went up to Columbus. I played
that's really
what was
cool,
the name of that thing? I don't know. I don't follow miniatures, so I don't know.
No, I mean, over here, when you say war games, that's what most people. That's miniatures is the big thing over here. I used to dabble in it as a youngster because my dad was playing them, but is hunting alien species on a spaceship a war game? If that's the case, then I tell you what, Nemesis is one of my favorite miniature games. We'll leave it like that.
I will say, there's a YouTube channel that does miniature wargaming that I would like to at least tiptoe my way into it. It was Little Wars TV.
Yeah, yep.
They did a whole like Napoleonics campaign. They've done like Roman stuff, and
But
it all looked very neat.
That's what it's like over here. I mean, most of the conventions, the war game conventions over here, are miniatures. I mean,
Yeah.
PunchCon is one of the few war game board game conventions going on. Most of them, and there's plenty of them, purely miniatures. It's just been a historic.
Yeah, when I look at the evolution of wargaming and the amount of people coming into it, I look at society as whole, and I think if you compare entertainment 10 years ago and entertainment 20 years ago, entertainment has exploded. Computer gaming. I'm not just talking about wargaming now. I'm talking about society and
in general.
Like when society is doing well and you have extra money in your pocket, you spend that extra money on things you enjoy, which are your hobbies and, you know, stuff like that, taking trips and buying games and doing all that stuff. So as society has gotten more and more advanced in the last 20 years, entertainment has exploded in its popularity and how much people are spending on it and doing on it. And not just wargaming, but board gaming in general. I think there was over 700,000 people at Essen this year.
That's crazy.
Wow.
So that is almost 750,000 people at Essen. So it's crazy.
Wow.
And I think there is some sort of war game bits in it. Wargaming company. I think VU could do it. It's obviously German convention. But yeah, it's what I want. I'm thinking, oh, should I go to Essen because it's like a 2-hour plane, you know, flight, and but 700,000 people.
Have you watched? It's kind of interesting. Every year at Gen Con, there's like 3 or 4 YouTubers that sit on the balcony and they do that.
Like,
and they do that when they open the doors and they let the mob of people come in, and it's like just people for as far as you can see down the hallways.
I'd probably get into a fight and get arrested. You know, like, get out of here, pushing. You know.
Well, it's not. I mean, I agree with what Coy said. So
yeah, absolutely.
But
it is the internet for and I think this is why entertainment has gone through the roof, is because if I want to find out about Wolfpack, right? Before the internet came out, I could call my buddy and go, okay, you just got a game Wolfpack. What's it like? What does it look like? Blah, 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 blah. And maybe I'd get interested. I can literally get on the internet and find out everything I need to do, about the game.
We did have the trade magazines, of course. So, in those days. But
I will say this, to kind of, before we get to this, to kind of wrap up the other one, is I agree, like the internet really has exploded cultural things across the world in the last 25 years or so. But when it comes to like board games and now war games becoming more popular, so like, I'm 35. My journey was I started playing computer games and playing computer war games. And that was my avenue because I like having a visual to see the history that I'm reading about. And so I would play like Rome Total War. I really like the Total War series, or like the Paradox Interactive, like Europa Universalis, things like that. However, I think one of the reasons that board games have really skyrocketed and war games along with it is, one, COVID, because people were locked in, and now people really are looking for social connections with one another, not just digital connections. People were realizing that digital connections does not replace interpersonal real life connections.
But I think also that the internet had, people doing I'm going mad stuck in here.
Right.
Look on the internet. Oh, there's solo games, war games, or board games. So they went through the roof. But as you say now, when it's died down, people want to touch people again. Hello, I want to play a game. Yeah.
Right. And I think also in that I've watched a trend on video games is now it seems that whenever you buy something, a video game, then there's, 10, 20 different DLC of things that some games people think have been ripped out of the game of the base game and are sold to you later on. Whereas in a board game, you get a full experience in that box already. And then expansions add on it, kind of like what traditional video games used to be. And I see people gravitating towards that, where I can have a full experience like playing Wolfpack, where the whole thing, I can play the whole campaign right there. I don't need to buy $300 worth of things just to play one thing.
Yeah, I think you're right. And that's always been the case with board games, stroke war games. You bought a box and that's it. And there might have been an expansion like ASL when, of course, that's crikey, that goes on forever. Right. But but also series. So if you like a game like Next War or GBOH, you think, well, I enjoyed that, I'll buy the next one. And that perpetuates the sales. So what about this? Crikey.
Consensus on a good intro war game to pull Euro gamers in to the right side of the fence.
Yeah,
okay, that is a great question. We've talked about it many times. There is never going to be a consensus on what game, but we can recommend some for you, though, for sure. My first would be Memoir 44 because it's got the tanks and the miniatures and everything that they might look good on the board, and it's easy for them to learn. So that would be my first inkling at wargaming. It's quick, it's easy, it's what Euro gamers would probably enjoy if they have any interest in history at all.
I would agree with that. I would totally agree with that.
Yeah. And even some of the commands and colors, I know it's blocks, but it looks good on the table and all the blocks standing up. But what about the other game you like, the David Thompson game?
Undaunted.
Undaunted. That looks sort of
that's more Euro game than war game, though.
But it is a war game. All right.
No, it's a Euro game with a war theme. It's not a war game. It's a Euro game.
Introduce people and bring them closer to the dark side, do you think?
I mean, sure, but I don't. I mean, if you're trying to introduce Euro gamers to war gamers, you want to introduce them to war game mechanics such as hexes, right? You don't get that with Undaunted Normandy,
right? Okay, so
you want to introduce them with zones of control. There's none of that in Undaunted Normandy. Don't get me wrong, Undaunted Normandy is a great game. Love this game. I don't see it being a war game at all, to be honest. It just has it's got a Euro mechanisms with the war theme. Sure, in fact, they changed it into a sci-fi theme. So
yeah. So they've got the shell and just plopping different things onto it.
That's fair.
Okay, I didn't know that.
No, it's great. It's fine, and it's it's got the theme, so maybe it'll get them interested. But I don't know.
That's what I was thinking, but I don't know. Not playing it. I mean, Commands and Colors would be a good one. Yeah, Memoir 44. I'm not sure if it's a proper war game you want to introduce somebody in. I think maybe Standard Combat Series might do it. It's not that or 8 pages of rules, for goodness sake.
Yeah, that or the Russian campaign. That's about 8 pages or so. The Compass version, particularly, that's one map, just a few counters, not a lot. That was when that first came out. That was kind of the big intro, like big game that people got into.
Yeah. Sorry if I'm not getting to your comments about this because I'm wanting to work down the questions so people don't get
What is the next question?
I don't know. Let's have a look. I don't know. Fall on.
Before we go on to the next question, let me just answer. I did a video with Herman Lutman about 6 months ago, and we talked about. It's on my channel, ID Jester. If you just look at it, it's on my main page. But I did a video with Herman on great introduction war games. So check that out; it might help you.
Oh, there we go. Yes, I remember that. Yes.
Yeah, it was a great topic, and we talked about all the good games. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. James's first hex encounter was Battles of the American Revolution tri-pack with Saratoga.
Yes, it's
Very
a
cool.
bit more complex. 25 pages of rules, but yeah,
That's cool.
I haven't got a clue what Forlorn's talking about here. Do you?
I had seen it, but it wasn't. So
Tell us what you know, Nate.
Like I had seen it. I didn't back it. It wasn't.
What is it?
Wasn't
What is
really
it?
my thing. It's been a long time since I've seen it, so I have to go look it up again. Okay, yeah, tabletop miniatures.
Okay.
Game miniatures is. I mean, it's its own hobby in and of itself. Outside of board gaming. People really like miniatures, so I can see why it got so big. Why
it's a war game, yes, war game miniature game.
Yeah,
fantasy.
It's a fantasy with it's like a fantasy historical, like the Crusades, but in like sci-fi setting. So it's kind of
right.
both.
So yes, so it's a Crusade theme in space. Yeah, right.
Sort of, yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, I'll give you an example of, say, like a historical game that did really well on Kickstarter was the new version of Europa Universalis. That did exceedingly well.
That's a great. It's a crossover game, though, isn't it?
It is. It's a more of a 4X game.
Yeah, which appeals to non-war gamers for some reason.
Correct. 4X is really popular genre.
Even though you're exterminating and fighting and wargaming, it weird, isn't it? Weird.
Okay. Warfighter might even be another one, Ruff, that we forgot to mention. Would be a good Warfighter might be a good crossover game.
Yes.
The Euro gamers, yeah.
Yeah, the thing that lets it down is the rule book, but they're looking at that. Yes, I would say it's a solo game, but it's easily played cooperatively. So you could have somebody that knows what they're doing, sitting with somebody that's new to it, and they can each have a squad each, and or command. Even if you have just one squad, and they can command a couple of the soldiers, and they make their decisions. But yes, Warfighter. If they sort the rule book out, if for somebody who's never played a war game and picks the rule book up, I'm afraid they would probably go, "What's all this about?" It's especially the universal rule book where they try to cram everything into the one book. But yes, great game. I love it. Just see if there's any questions.
Gunman Commander is another good choice. I was going to mention that, but
not too complex. I don't know. I've not played it.
For Euro gamers, I don't think it's too complex for Euro gamers to learn, to be honest. There's the complexity ranking. I don't know. Let me look up Combat Commander and see what that's rating is.
The thing is, you see these
3.2. So
yeah. You see these Kickstarters and non-war games. They get millions. Look at Hexplore. Look at other games whose names I can't think of at the moment, but they're in the millions. Whereas when there's a Kickstarter for a war game, it gets into the tens of thousands, maybe.
Right.
So there's that they've got to contend with. But yeah, for some reason it tickled people. It's a miniature game, which non-war gamers love. They love their miniatures. They love painting the miniatures, and I get that because I love doing it when I get the time as well.
Ruff, I have to stand corrected because people corrected me. I was wrong. It's not the Crusades in a sci-fi setting. It kind of looked that way to me, but it's not.
Okay.
It's the Crusades in a World War I type setting.
So it's like what they call it, where they got all the funny goggles and hats. What they call it, the a bit like the pocket landship thing.
Alternate.
Oh, that fashion style that came out.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
But they go around with the goggles and the helmet, the leather helmet, and it looks weird. Top hats and all that sort of thing.
Yeah. I'm trying to steampunk. Yeah,
steampunk. Yes, steampunk sort of thing. Right, gotcha.
Okay, what's the next question?
Red,
blue,
black.
It would be, wouldn't it, for you?
What's wrong with that?
That's black.
The color of Jester's heart.
Yes, his soul.
Yeah, but it turns out to be. Oh,
How often do you buy games that turn out to be utter mistakes, and then what do you do with these games? You put them on your floor, hoping to sell them at some time. How often? I would say 3 or 4 times a year.
I've bought only a couple. I think are utter mistakes, but I have not sold them or anything yet.
Right. I mean, it's happened a couple of times to me. One of them wasn't bought; it was given, and I've now given that to somebody else who wants it. It's actually one of the games I sent off. It wasn't for me, but I didn't buy it. But yeah, I don't. No, like you, I don't. I haven't got to that stage where I think, oh no, this is absolutely rubbish. And I would sell them.
What you're doing with your board games. If you are like me, buying tons and tons, you can try out different games and put them on your channel and introduce people to them. Or if you like series games and you're sticking to a series.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of games I've got rid of because, yes, I played them. Yes, they're okay, but I don't think I'll play them again. And I've got rid of those. I mean, that's starting to happen now. You wouldn't hear Ruffy saying that. But yeah, for me anyway, generally speaking, it doesn't happen a lot.
You see, I got a new game. Just came across it on the Noble Knight sale. I picked it up because it was like $12, $15. Looked pretty interesting. It's about
Westward expansion.
Explore, kind of the explorers back in the 1600s and stuff like that. And it's got some pretty cool mechanics. And I bought it because I'm like, looks pretty cool. I'm going to try it out. It could be a dud, but it could be great. Who knows? I bought Flashpoint series thinking, looks cool. I don't know that much about it. I'm going to buy it. And I love that game. Absolutely love it. So it just depends. You never know.
Maybe a topic for another war room. Great one. I'll nick that one, William. Thank you. Because
Ruff will use that one.
Yeah, bloody right, I will. Because I saw it first. No. Yes, I must admit, just a quickie that music, because I don't do so much now because things happen. Kept the mind active, and it's been scientifically proved that musicians are far more, intellectually tuned than non-musicians. Go argue with science. Don't look at me. But
they die earlier because of all the drugs, though.
Well, I'm surprised I'm still here. Let's put it that way. You're not wrong.
Michael Jackson, Prince. I mean,
You're
that
not
could go
wrong.
on.
You're not wrong.
Houston.
It's that genius.
It is. You got to be on the edge all the time. So,
and even in my little world, it was. But I must admit, reading rule books keeps the brain sharpened, shall we say? But yes, that's a great topic for maybe one of us to do in the future.
Okay, what's next?
Let's have a look. Shadows of Brimstone. Yes, we know you like that, Mike. I love that too. I don't know what they're talking about.
Just be patient. We're going through the list, so give us a second.
They're talking about getting youngsters into it. Some say it's not a problem. Some say there's loads of youngsters doing that. Let's get out there and play it in public and all that sort of thing. So there's
lots of comments today, which is awesome.
Yeah,
love it.
Yeah, it's great interaction.
That's the thing.
We're trying to get to everyone, but obviously we can't get to every single question. But we're trying our best
as I can.
Love seeing all the new people come out too. And,
brilliant. I mean, I think we peaked at 80 people. 80 people. It's crazy.
It's nice. It's good that our little community is growing. I think they heard that we're giving stuff away every week, and so
They were wrong. Can't see any more questions.
That's interesting. Stuka says he doesn't read.
I've seen several so far, Ruff. I don't know what you're looking at.
Maybe not down there then.
Maybe not. So a question by David Portier. Great war games made for two that you will still solo without a bot. David Portier, great question. Great war games made for two that you will still solo
I bet that's
without
right.
a bot.
I'm going to work from the bottom up now.
I'm going to say Lock and Load Tactical. It does have a bot system, but I don't use it. And rough Lock and Load. I said it. Drink up.
Got it. Yeah, I hadn't got to it yet. Sorry, Dave. Cheers.
Great solo. Great game to solo, but I don't use the solo system. It's fine, but it's a lot of extra work, and I would rather just play both sides myself.
What's that game?
Lock and Load Tactical.
Oh, you don't use the new bot that's in the new one?
No. It's fine. It's just a lot of extra work, and I'm like, all the effort, I could have just played the damn game. So,
well, for me, I got lots of choices, but since Ruff mentioned Napoleonics earlier, and he's wanting to get into it, you should pick War and Peace, the Mark McLaughlin War and Peace.
It's a huge game.
But that is a great game. Tons of scenarios, but then there's the campaign as well. It's my favorite Napoleonic game. Great game. No bot in it. Don't need it, though. Don't need a bot. But great game.
For me, Great Battles of History, you can play that on its own. That works fine. Panzer, even though there are solo rules and scenarios, there aren't that many, but I can play it solo. I've played it on my channel. You just have to make a house rule how you want to deal with the commands, because you have to give the commands to each side, and they're done in secret. Apart from that, fantastic. Yeah, I haven't got a problem with playing 2-player games solo by playing both sides. I know some people, I must be split my brain. It doesn't bother me at all, because yes, you're not going to get the same gameplay and excitement out of it, but you can play both sides to the best of their ability. This is why I say playing solitaire is fantastic. I love it. Playing, I've been introduced more and more as the years have gone by into playing 2-player games with Jester and with Nate and Tony and Tweez, and that's fantastic. And it's a completely different enjoyment to playing a solitaire game. It's weird, playing a real solitaire game like Warfighter is fantastic. I have a great time, but playing a 2-player game like GBOH or Panzer, it's just as good, but in a completely different way, if that makes sense. I'm not sure if it does, but yeah, I have no problem. And there's many games. Most of my games actually aren't solitaire. They're 2-player, but because there's no hidden information. Hidden information is the solitaire killer or solo killer. So if you can get around that by not playing them or making a house rule you're happy with, then there's no problem.
I saw another. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, Nate. Sorry. I was just going to say another recommendation I would have is any of the Mark Semenich 40X.
Yes, they solo well.
Normandy, Salerno, Holland,
Stalingrad,
44, Normandy 44, Salerno 43.
Stalingrad 42.
Those would be the main ones I would recommend. I don't know if I would recommend Stalingrad.
That's a huge one. Yeah.
What about Ardennes?
Again,
I don't own that one, so I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think I've got that one. The problem is, as I said earlier, no, I haven't got. I'm waiting for that to come out. It's dribbling through the 500, again, because most people have got it who want it. The thing is, playing the Simonich games solo is great fun and it works, but playing them two-handed, I would suspect, which I've got that pleasure to have, would be just as much fun, but in a completely different way.
So absolutely, I was having a great time actually playing the France 40, going through the tutorial scenario in the book, and I couldn't believe how much fun I was having playing both sides. It plays great playing both sides. It does, because there's you don't have to worry about, I'm moving these units, and then the other, I have to wait to see if my opponent reacts to that. It's that whole reaction system that bogs it down.
That's why I read them in bed, Coy, because you read them and you're gone.
Is there any questions that? Well, we got about 8.5 minutes left. I saw one where like, what's our favorite mechanic in a game, and then what mechanics do we hate?
Where was that then?
One of them was Gareth on what our favorite mechanic is, and then Patchwork Pictures had what mechanics do we hate.
So they're flicking through. I'll keep missing them. They're crazy.
So I would say for me that the mechanic that I love the most in games
what mechanics do you hate?
Is chit. Well, this is the I mentioned the Gareth one earlier. Gareth's question. The one that I love the most is chit pull. I like chit pull a lot, especially in the Dark series from GMT and Ted Racer. The one that I hate, I think has to be anything that you mentioned earlier, Ruff. Anything that has to do with hidden information. Where I'm spoiling myself, and it's like, for instance, playing like games like War at Sea, where you have to move the ships to different zones, and then you have to like forget when you move to the other player, and it's hard.
Yeah.
To do that.
Yep. Ones I hate. Yes, it's hidden information for me. The mechanic. Well, it's not a mechanic. It's just a rule of the game, isn't it? My favorite game rules would be. I don't know. It's games the rule sets are the best ones for me are the ones that you understand and play them well. And Panzer rule set, even though it's just rules, it sort of went in great. My favorite, of course, is Atlantic Chase for rules, because it's each part of the rules is set into a little scenario. So you learn some, play this, learn some more, play this. It's program learning that was very, very good in the 70s.
Chester has to hear us all the time talk about how much.
Yeah, I know, and I'm sorry.
That's all right. That's all right. I've been just toning you out, so that's fine. So my favorite mechanic is going to be cards that are multi-use cards. So a card that you play for either this, or I paid for my operation points, or I played for the special event, or I play it to do something else.
In coin
the
game.
Card that is like, oh, I got to play this card, but I can do this or I can do that. That's my favorite mechanic. My least favorite mechanic is initiative, what I'm going to call initiative done wrong. Initiative is such an important part in a game. And there's too many games that just go like, you roll a die, I roll a die, whoever rolls higher gets the initiative. It can change the game on a stupid little die roll. There should be more thought put into, because initiative is so important. If I have the initiative, I can do this, I can do that. You can't do this. And the only reason I can do it is because I was lucky enough to roll higher than you. I've never liked that at all. It drives me crazy.
I'm afraid that's in Panzer, and it is important, because I won the initiative and I could start blasting away before Tony could. But I believe, and I've got to check, and I'm not 100%, but once again, there's optional rules where you can have staggered initiatives, so one person doesn't get the whole benefit of rolling.
Exactly.
That's where
I was going to say the ones like Avalanche Press, Panzer Grenadier. What you'll do with initiative, you'll still roll the dice, but mine will be adjusted by how many of my guys have been killed. I will lose points to my initiative. And the same thing for you. So if one side gets a bunch of his guys killed, he's going to have a lower initiative than the opponent. So it's still a die roll, but the game, adjusts that, which is fine. But if it's just a simple die roll, it just drives me crazy.
Yeah, I think Patrick put on that, then you might not like GCACW, because that's how the entire game works.
Okay, well, then I probably won't be buying GCACW.
But if you can get your hand, I mean, I don't mind it in Panzer. It's that tingly, moment when you throw the die. I need to get initiative this time, otherwise he's going to beat 7, or she is going to beat 7 shades of what's name.
Right. Now, I will say with GCACW, even though there is the die roll for initiative, because there's so much going on in there, that it does balance itself out through there. But the good thing in Panzer is that if you win the initiative,
you can do one of two things. You can't do everything.
Okay.
So you can either
fine.
fire
That's
first and move second, or move first and fire second. So yes, the person that wins does have they can pick.
That's good at least then. That's good. It's not just hey, I won initiative, so I get to do all my shit.
Yeah, I can move, I can fire, I can obliterate you. No, they can either fire, and they might want to move first to get in a better position, but that means the other person is going to fire first. So that's how it works out. I think
that's interesting. I do like that actually.
Hey, Let's Play History's here. Hello.
Let's Play History. How you doing?
Hello.
Good to see you. Thanks for stopping in. Thanks everyone for all your comments today. We do appreciate them.
Yeah. Crikey, we should have open forums once a month then, I think.
I guess we're had a good time for sure, answering questions.
And just talking, just chewing the fat and talking to the the chat and everything. It's
so I've already come up with from today. I'm coming up with my subject for next week because it'll be my show, right?
Yeah, on your channel.
All right, on my channel. So the subject is going to be Wargaming 15 years ago, Wargaming today. I'm going to ask you questions like, how does production compare from what's 15 years ago? We'll say 2000 to 2024.
Okay.
And we'll compare and we'll see how much has Wargame evolved in those 24 years.
Sounds good.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
So what else are you up to for next week, guys? Jester, Nate.
Me, I should get, hopefully this week, I should get the GTS Utah Beach. So I will be spending all my time clipping counters over Thanksgiving.
Yes, you will.
Yeah.
It's going to be a big one. I will be playing housekeeper and taking care of the wife and squeezing a game here or there, but I'm not going to be doing anything major. Yeah, she's got a bell. Yeah, no, she doesn't. But I mean, she's got the phone. She can call me at any time. So I'll be playing that. But I'll be squeezing a few games here or there. But they'll be short, just kind of intermittent games.
Yeah. You got to look after number one.
Yeah. She's been good to me, so I got to be good to her.
She who must be obeyed.
That's right. What about you, Ruff? What you got coming up this week?
Well,
are any of the pilots coming out of the bar?
What?
Are any of the pilots coming out of the bar?
Well, I can't tell you because I've already done that bit. I've already recorded that bit. So I can't say it. I've been recording it, but I have to do bit by bit, and then I've got to edit it and make sure it's okay. It takes an age, but I can't do 3 or 4 hours recording, at the moment. So I have to do or I can do a little bit here, 10 minutes or half an hour or an hour if I'm lucky. But that's getting better. So that's still going on because I want to get it done as well because I do enjoy the game. And then Friday we're playing some more Panzer. I think we're going to be finishing off. See, Tony's getting quite close because again, the initiative in Panzer Grenadier, when you kill the units, the initiative goes wrong. In this, if you kill the tanks, their cohesion points go down. So when they get to 0, morale kicks in. And they can't do stuff.
Jester, now I figured it out. See, once Tony he's figuring out the game and he's getting good at it, then Ruff just withdraws. He doesn't want to play anymore because he'll get destroyed.
No, that's great. It is different. It is.
My tanks can run away now, right?
Yeah, exactly. And you might not do that when you play yourself.
Highlight Hissy Cat's. We should mention for Hissy Cat the postcards.
Oh, yes, the postcard stuff. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So that is officially started again. It goes until, I think it went till March last year. I'm not sure when it ends this year, but Hissy Cat, if you send me the information, email it to me. I will make sure to post it and get it out there. Okay.
Well, he's quite active on Tack Up anyway, is Hissy. So if you want to do it or send it to Jester, let us know. Let people know.
Oh, it goes till May this year. And we had, what was it? David Thompson last year joined in on that. Training games and all right, send us the info. We'll be sure to talk about it every once in a while,
if we get
congratulations to Historic Wings, big release today, game number 5, and of course congratulations to Mike on his. This is game 3 or 4 for him now. He's got Tank Duel, the expansion for Tank Duel. He's got Mr. President, and now this one, I think so. This is game like 4 or 5 for him.
He's doing well. He's doing well. Sounds good. All I can say is I hope you enjoyed this evening, everybody. 80 got up to 80 people. Crikey. Thank you so much. Oh, it is awesome. It is awesome that 80 people want to spend 2 hours in our company. It's
and for anyone that's in the United States, have a great Thanksgiving.
What
Enjoy
is that?
time with your family next week.
Is it this week? Next week?
Next Thursday is Thanksgiving.
So basically, it's just a long weekend to get drunk. That's what I hear.
On turkey.
No.
Turkey, mashed potatoes, gravy, and
ham,
stuffing, and
So even from this side of the pond, everyone over there, have a happy Thanksgiving, and don't get too what's name on the old turkey. Don't get drunk on the turkey.
Overdose on the tryptophan. There we go.
Tryptophan, yes.
Hey,
Eve.
Hey.
Yes, everybody's saying thank you. So we've got to go. We've gone over the 2 hours. Again, thank you so much for joining in, and hope you enjoyed it. And as I always say, smash that like button if you would, please. And remember, it's on Jester's channel next week. And we love you. And there's nothing you can do about it. So once again, take care, everyone. See you next time.
Bye, everybody.